Hey guys, welcome to the Local Nerd News. I'm Nerd Dude.
I'm Sabago.
And I got a treat for you, man. So, you know Ava DuVernay?
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah, she's a director. She's a female director, and she directed what we thought was a really good film, Selma. Yeah, we thought it was really good. It was well acted, well shot, and we really enjoyed it. But I enjoyed it personally because I really like historical movies. But it's a shame I don't watch Dunkirk or The Darkest Hour. It just pisses me off that I can't watch all these movies. But
anyway,
I'll get around to them. Recently, she directed A Wrinkle in Time by Disney. You've heard of the movie, right?
Yeah, I actually saw it on my way to go see Black Panther. There was a poster with it.
Yeah, and I was like, dude, what is this? So I read the plot, and I was like, dude, this sounds amazing. You get space and time travel. You travel to a different dimensional plane. Like a girl tries to find her father through this crazy adventure. This sounds really cool. Then I saw its reviews.
Yeah, as you can imagine, any movie with a plot like that, and it either has to be executed perfectly or not at all.
Yeah, and here are the current reviews.
All right, Rotten Tomatoes 40%, IMDb 4.2 out of 10, and Facebook. Okay then, 3.4 out of 5. And
63% of Google users liked this film. Now, I was destroyed with this.
Yeah.
But the real clue should have been in the trailers.
Yeah, well, something of this magnitude has to be executed perfectly.
Yeah, and the thing is, I looked at its box office, and it's not doing too well so far. It's a recent film. It came out recently. But, yeah, it's not doing too well. It's like between 40 to 50 million.
Yeah.
And for a Disney movie.
Yeah, for Disney, that's horrible.
Yeah, and this is bad for Disney. This is bad for the actors involved, and this is especially bad for Ava DuVernay. But,
because, she directed it.
Yeah, she directed it, but there's a lot of talk about conflicts and all that stuff behind the scenes, which is pretty common in movies. But the thing I wanted to get around was that DC was they have their DCEU.
Yeah.
DC.
They're very, very complicated.
DC Cinematic Universe. And the thing was, because they set up they're putting building blocks on the new gods. They did it in Justice League. They established Mother Boxes. They've partially established Apocalypse and Darkseid and all the other new gods. And
although we never actually got to see Darkseid.
So that means that DC is planning a new gods movie, which is pretty cool. It's a pretty cool concept because you've got Jack Kirby, who created the New Gods, and he's a legendary. He's a legend in the industry. So you using characters like Orion, it's like a Game of Thrones episode.
Yeah.
Like Orion
It's sort of like Game of Thrones. Like the two, for lack of a better word, kings or gods. They exchange children in order to keep the peace. Yeah.
So Orion is traded with Mr. Miracle. That's from the New 52. I'm not sure if that's the original.
I don't know if it's the original, but
yeah. So it's like a son must defeat his father in a never-ending bloodlusted conflict, and that's really cool. But the thing is, they were like to Disney, "Hey, yo, Disney, we're having a little problem with our cinematic universe, and you're doing really well with your Marvel universe. And we're deciding to do a big blockbuster sci-fi movie. So we were thinking, could we get James Gunn?" And they're like, "No, take Ava DuVernay." And they're like,
really?
Okay. She's an Academy Award-winning director. And I'm like, yes.
Completely.
That was the trade.
All right. Just completely ignore the fact about.
Yeah. But here's the thing. This film should be in the DC Cinematic Universe. but I don't think it should be done in this point in time. I think DC really stuffed it up.
Yeah, DC need to wait a bit.
Yeah, I think, like, I say this a lot. I feel like the first, like, it should have been done in phases, like at the MCU. Like, you
have the movies, the main heroes, then
like have movies to establish the heroes, and then with the Justice League, I say this a lot: adapt Darwin Cook's DC's The New Frontier. Because I think it's a really good origin story. I think that you can substitute the main villain with Starro.
Yeah.
Like, use the first phase to
just establish your heroes, establish what's going on.
Yeah, and do like little Easter eggs of Starro being in the universe, being set up. Because
like maybe in the Superman movie you might see, like, you wouldn't see Starro, but you might see like a
you get
star-shaped object, or
well, I would say do like on Krypton, like on the time of Krypton, you just say that's like Krypton is about to end, and the council will be like, and what about the Star Conqueror that's destroying worlds? Haven't heard anything about that, or something like that. But you could really set it up in Aquaman. Let's say have a tentacle of like a part of Starro be in the trophy rooms. Like, Starro came to Earth once, the Atlanteans beat him, and they kept the souvenir for him. In Green Lantern, then you like, you know.
Then in the final scenes of the movie or something, you might just see him.
Yeah, you just see like a post-credits scene. It's an alien race, and you just see a dark shadow
of a star.
And you just see falling stars. Just go, like, you see like a star come from the sky, and just
everyone looks up.
Like, you know those space huggers? It will just come up and go at the camera, and that'll be it.
Yeah, the shadow goes over the planet. Yeah. Everyone looks up. Like for lack of a better word, face huggers will attach to the people and then end.
Yeah. And then with Justice League, it's basically Darwin Cook's DC's New Frontier, because in Justice League New Frontier, Superman already knows Batman. It's actually a good starting point to introduce Martian Manhunter.
You don't have to do all the whole Martha business that they did in BVS.
Yeah. That's why you do. I think you should do either a Batman Superman movie or a Trinity movie.
Well, if you're doing a Batman Superman movie, you don't have them fighting each other. You have them team up to defeat maybe the Joker and
like the first time they meet, they're like, okay, we have a common enemy. Let's just try and find who it is. But they find out they have different ideologies, and that's what the conflict is. They don't physically fight. They fight. I think they'll fight for like a couple, like a minute or two.
It's like maybe when they first meet, like Superman will fly up to him or something, and then Batman would be like, yeah, okay, Clark or something like that.
I don't think they'll do that on the first time.
Yeah, I don't think they'd do that. Like, Batman would have no.
They'll do it like in an intense scene or something like that. But
Batman pops open his utility belt to reveal a slice of kryptonite or something, just weakening him.
Yeah, man, you're such a nerd, man. Yeah. You just want to see everything in there.
I just want to see everything.
And then with the Justice League, you end it with Starro losing, and then you find out that has spread across the universe. It's like
multiple planets.
It's like Starro, the Conqueror, has been defeated by these Earthlings, and then it's like,
and then you see Darkseid going.
Like you'll see like a barrage of villains. Maybe you'll see Mongol or Despero, and then maybe Darkseid as well. And then be like, oh man, this is so cool. The possibilities are endless.
But DC.
Yeah. And then with New Gods, you do it down later, when you want to go at a point where you want to establish the cosmology of DC. Maybe you do a starting point in the Green Lantern movie. And then you start to do more sci-fi driven movies.
So pretty much, just take a page from Marvel, because they know how to do movies.
Yeah, exactly. They have a formula. It works.
DC tried very well.
Yeah, DC tried to do a formula. It didn't work.
It failed.
It's not working. But it's really starting to, like, maybe Aquaman will be. It's like
well, that's the thing though.
It's like a chart.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. DC, their formula doesn't work, but they have good movies every so often.
Yeah.
So, like, Man of Steel
was all. It's fun,
average.
It's fun, but it's not the Superman movie that we wanted.
It's average.
Batman v Superman.
BVS, it's
Suicide Squad. I just want to put my head through this table.
Suicide Squad. Then you have Wonder Woman. Excellent.
It's excellent. The only thing I would do is change the ending, which we'll do in a video.
And then Justice League, which I thought it was. It wasn't great, but it was.
It's meant. I feel like Justice League wasn't meant to be like Zack Snyder before he was fired by DC. Yeah, he was fired by Warner Brothers right after his daughter died from suicide.
Yeah, good going DC.
Good going DC. Good
Warner Brothers.
Good going Warner Brothers. So they fire him, hire Joss Whedon to reshoot the film, ruining his vision of being like, okay, Man of Steel didn't work, Batman v Superman didn't work,
Wonder Woman worked,
and Zack Snyder worked on the story.
And then they fired.
And they're like, okay, if I want to do a good movie, if I want to make the best movie I can, I got to do it right. I got to do my research. I got to do all this stuff. And the Zack Snyder parts are really good. You can really notice which one's Zack's and which one's Joss.
Yeah, you can tell.
Yeah, you can tell. And you know the ending with Superman revealing himself in the alley in the trench coat? He just pulls up. That was Zack. Because there's an actual video online where you just see Henry Cavill in the trench coat. He walks into an alley. He pulls open, and you see Zack there. So that was originally in the movie. And it's like, dude, that's relating to what Superman is. He's supposed to be, it's like an homage to.
This is the job for Superman.
Yeah, and that's what Zack Snyder's cut would have been. It would have been the movie that fans would be happy to see.
After all of the failures.
Yeah, after all the failures, he's like, okay,
I know how to do it
this is not working. Let's see if I can do it right. And tragedy struck. And then he had to leave. Yeah. And then reshot the film, and then it all went horrible. But I'm really sorry.
The New Gods movie, just the short of it, they should do it later, not rush to get it done.
Yeah, especially right after a director has been slammed on a movie that she just released.
Yeah. So as we said at the very beginning of this episode, not a very successful movie.
Yeah, it's not a very good choice right now in this point of time. But we'll just have to see where this all leads. So, as always, guys, I'm Nerd Dude.
I'm Sabago. Until next time.